What's up, everybody? It's your boy Isaac, and welcome back. It's your buddy Isaac today, and we of course have our lovely little furry mascot, the Moon Pie. Hello, Moon Pie. Hello, humans. Yes, hello. Hello, meow. Meow, meow. Meow. You going? There you go, bud. So, this is all new series, and we're starting with a brand new car, obviously. It is, well, not brand new, but it's a retro tuner in the form of a classic Nissan 1987 Nissan Skyline GTSR. The predecessor to the GTR Nissan. So, we're gonna have some fun. The more racing action. Also, if you guys are interested, we're going to be seeing a return of these days with Triploski, possibly.
Stay glued to the race line and don't use too much curbing to upset your car.
So, if you guys are slightly newer to the channel, I got a buddy of mine by the name of Triploski. He does a lot of PNG characters for his channel, Triploski with Wacky Puppets. You've probably seen some of his videos in my reaction video work, so he may well be returning to the channel to do some videos himself. He usually has a running video series on the channel referred to as Tuesdays with Triploski, so we're going to be seeing a return of that. He usually picks a lot of fun indie games, so he's usually pretty on the ball. He's actually ended up playing a few games before even Markiplier played them. I believe there's one game that he actually does voice work too, by the way. So if you're looking for a voice actor for something, Triploski is always willing to do voice work. He used to do a bit of brick animation. Oh boy. Now, shouting at my homeboy, trying to sell him out there. You know how it is. You know, I want him to do good. He's been trying really hard to do this YouTube thing since, well, almost since the beginning of YouTube. But unfortunately, due to a lot of really bad circumstances with his family life, he just wasn't able to make videos consistently like he needed to. And just wasn't able to really build anything. It's actually weird because he was actually part of, is part of the Channel Frederator group. That whole multi-channel network. Yeah. Some old big boys here on YouTube. He's actually a part of them. So they've helped him deal with a few things and all that mess, so. I think what we might actually do is get some graphics done on this car after we do the race here. No sense in our car looking all plain Jane. But, yeah, you know, it's gonna be cool getting to see him back in the ring. He's gonna actually, even though the series is Tuesdays with Triploski, his return is actually set for Sunday, Christmas Eve, where he's going to be doing an interesting little, Christmas-themed horror game. Or is it some kind of, something to do with playing an assassin snowman? I know nothing about it. So, hopefully you guys will enjoy that. Hopefully a whole bunch of you won't go, ew, puppet, unsubscribe. You guys have seen the Yellow Puppet Man a couple of times with me when we've done reaction videos. Might have to try and see if I can get him to come in and do a reaction video with me again, either Wednesday night or whatever, so that might show up on a Thursday. Let's see, I have to find something juicy to react to. You know, of course, we're gonna try and see if we can find somebody that that is okay with people doing reactions of their videos. I know that a lot of reaction channels have been getting a lot of flack lately. Not undeserved, mind you, either. So many channels out there right now just straight up stealing content, not accrediting the people they get it from, that kind of steal. I don't recommend it. Honestly, even though reaction videos do get a lot of views on this channel, I purposely try to avoid doing them because just that same point. It's on the internet, it's very much considered lazy, it's considered content theft. There's so many different issues that go into it. And I'd much rather just make my own content. But unfortunately, you know, if you want to actually make this your job, you want to make this your living, your business, you gotta go where, you know, where you can get eyeballs. And it doesn't always make you friends on the internet, that's for sure. Ah, the 80s, when everything looked like boxes on wheels. Funny thing is, the last car I actually owned was a Nissan Stanza station wagon. And we had to Frankenstein that thing back to life way too many times. Whoa. I will say it definitely tried to, you know, KO me for the count more than a couple of times. Me and my buddies. They really did not like us. Sorry, trying to rewind here because we're just having all kinds of problems. There we go. Man, our Nissan is beat up. Ouch. Whoa! Hello. Meow. Meow. Whoa, 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 whoa. It was really trying to throw us off the track there. I don't know what I did wrong there, but yeah, not good. Uh-oh, Moonpie is gonna go try and sleep behind the light again. What are you doing, Fuzzbutt? You're distracting the driver, kitty. Stop being distracting, furry. All right. But yeah, so it'll be good to have him back on the channel. Whoa, hello. Wow, it's giving us all kinds of hell trying to get grip on the road and all that mess. Definitely gonna have to try and do some work on the appearance, that's for sure. But I don't think we have that unlocked just yet. Come on. He's really trying to fight us today. Come on, old girl, you can do it. Yeah, that's actually one of the cool things, though, I will say about, like, Japanese-made cars, is depending on what car you get, like, those things will last forever. If you take care of them, it could be I swear sometimes with some of these Japanese cars, if they're well taken care of, you can put them in a tomb somewhere for several thousands of years. Do a little light tune-up and it'll turn right on and go like mad. You could have King Tut's Nissan GTR and it'd still work. Of course, they didn't make those back in his time, but that would be hilarious. This car is like, what the devil is this thing? Sir, I think that's what they call a horseless carriage. I believe we call that a car, sir. Actually, a little bit of interesting information. Yeah, the pharaohs liked to race. Weirdly enough, they like to do hunting, they like to race. Arguably, it is said that it's quite possible that what happened to Tut wasn't foul play at all. It was literally, he was trying to ride his chariot really fast, and then something went horribly wrong. And he got smushed. But another really terrible, sad thing about poor Tut too is his life was miserable. Like, he was not happy. For most of his life, he had a club foot, which he suffered through immense pain. Especially early in his life, he was in just humongous amount of pain.
3 more.
Because of just the sheer amount of just inbreeding his family did. And that's kind of to be expected of royal nobility just in general, but like, yeah, it's not unheard of and unthinkable. Like, poor Tut's own wife was also his sister. And you thought Alabama was bad. Sweet home Alabama. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love ancient Egypt. I've been studying ancient Egypt. Actually was one of the other things other than business and stuff like that I actually enjoyed studying as a kid. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I have Paramount Plus, I've got Discovery, and everything that has anything to do with ancient Egypt in it, I've watched it all. Some of it comes off pretty cool, some of it makes me go, how did you get your degree again? I actually remember I was complaining at one point in a video talking about some college guy, I forget if it was, I think it was like in England or something, was trying to say that, was apparently trying to push forward this idea that mummification was to make sacred statues out of the pharaohs and stuff, and it's like, yes, let's completely ignore all of the hieroglyphs, the Book of the Dead, you know, all the grave goods that are very clearly there for the sole purpose of, you know, his use in the afterlife. I'm sorry, where did you go to school again? It's like, the whole idea of the pharaoh being preserved for the afterlife isn't just something that, and I swear this is literally what the guy said, it was an idea brought by death-obsessed white Victorian men. And it's like,
Final lap. You got this.
first off, it's been a long time since those guys have had anything to do with ancient Egyptian history. In fact, the mass majority of Egyptology now is run by native-born Egyptians with very long indigenous Egyptian heritage. And, oh yeah, there's like shite tons of other corroborating evidence that go beyond just the pharaohs with that. Like, their grand viziers were also mummified and buried in the same position. They had all the same stuff given to them. They did all the same preparations. These were not people that would have been considered divine. This was like the king's royal bookkeeper, okay? Bro still got mummified. Specifically, again, for that whole purpose of, I want to preserve my body for the afterlife. Because I believe that if my body gets destroyed, I die in the afterlife. The same thing with like names, people's iconography. That's why you can definitely tell when the ancient Egyptians hated someone, because they would go around and purposely like deface anything that had that person's name on it, their face on it, everything. You knew the ancient Egyptians hated you when that was a thing. Because they believed that straight up, by doing that, you were erasing not only the person in this life, any history that they had existed, but you were also killing them in the afterlife as well. For more Egyptology with Isaac. Yeah, I actually did have an idea at one point of wanting to do kind of like this talking ancient Egypt with Isaac series, so but hey, pretty. Ah, yes, hillbilly style. Ooh, I do like the Damascus look. Save the current car. Yeah, like, I've been reading ancient Egyptian stuff since I was a kid. I still have a number of the books. I actually have a textbook on the shelf behind me that's just for hieroglyphs. Eee. All right, that looks awesome already. Copy that to the other side. But go to Red Bull. Of course, I'm saying that mainly because, you know, Dubby! What can I say? I love Dubby because they really are a really good energy drink. And I love them for, you know, sponsoring my channel for so long. Nope, that is not what I was trying to do. There we go. Sweet. Nice. Plus, I guess you could say that my obsession with ancient Egypt, just as a kid and just doing research and having a love for history in general, probably would help me become a comedic style heathen. Oh no. Let's see. Yes, we'll go with that. Which unfortunately uses all of our points. But oh well. Meow. Hi, cat. I see you staring at me through the other side.
Silverstone was designed to resist extreme lateral loads experienced during intense braking and fast cornering. Grip will not be a problem.
But although if you guys want to actually see me, maybe even doing that series, actually, just be like, you know, hey, as it talks ancient Egypt, I'd be happy to do that. One of the weirdest things is, like, I actually know, one of the reasons why I know I have a distant cousin who does archaeology and Egyptology in specifics is I've seen them in the documentaries. Like, they're in almost all of the newer ones, so it's kind of like, well, hello there, cousin. Whee! Because both him and his wife are both Egyptologists. Rather renowned Egyptologists, too. Never met them, never spoke to them at all, ever. Granted, keep in mind, too, that anything that I just said, I'm just an Egyptology nerd. I'm not in the field, I'm not an Egyptologist, I'm not actively translating hieroglyphs or any of that stuff. I just know what's publicly available, right? So, it is what it is. It's actually kind of funny that of all the pharaohs, King Tut is the most widely known pharaoh. But arguably, he's also one of the shortest reigned pharaohs to ever happen. His reign wasn't particularly long compared to all of his counterparts. Like, he literally died just before he was 18? And for most of his life, he didn't really start ruling Egypt until he was like 12, 14. Yes, that might shock people a little bit, but yes, back then you had rulers in entire empires that were like 14 years old. It really wasn't that uncommon. To be fair, he had like a ton of advisors, like his Uncle I, who for a good long time, because he was the guy to take over after Tut had died, it was rumored for a very long time that Pharaoh I had actually had Tut killed, murdered. But thanks again to some more recent studies of Tut's remains, we've pretty much been able to rule out foul play fairly well. Now, does that mean that Pharaoh I was not a skeevy bugger? Oh, yes, he was. Because I was actually not supposed to be the original inheritor of the throne. In fact, it was supposed to be one of Tut's major generals, who I took the advantage of the guy being out in the battlefield, because they were currently at war at the time. So, one of the major rules, one of the main things of being able to claim rulership over Egypt was you being the guy who buried the pharaoh. So, I, as in A-Y-I, and I'm not saying I did it, I'm not that old, thank you very much. Pharaoh I actually had gone through and very hastily had Tut buried as quickly as possible so as to lay claim to the throne. The wonders of ancient Egyptian politics. What's funny is Tut's widow actually had invited, because she didn't want him, you know, literally marry her dad slash uncle. Several levels of ew, let's just put it that way, several levels of ew. She was trying to actually reach out to the enemy prince and like, look, I really don't want to marry this almost 80-year-old wrinkly bugger. I'll happily marry you if you can get here through my armies and all the other problems. Good luck. Unfortunately, that did not end well. Because I think that particular prince actually ended up getting killed in battle or something to that point. It's been a little bit since I've actually gone through that part. Believe me, I've forgotten way too much about Egyptology. I forgot the dude's name and just know that it's like, yeah, that happens. Welcome to ancient Egyptian politics. Things get really kinky and really weird. You're welcome. Actually, now that we're on the same topic, too, one of the very first recorded worker strikes to ever happen apparently happened working on the pyramids. Yeah, a lot of people don't know this, but because of the, I guess, the more religious mythological idea that the pyramids were built by slaves, but the reality is the pyramids were actually built by paid workers. Their wages actually were pretty good at the time. Egypt didn't have currency, but what they did do is the workers' living conditions were taken care of. They were given housing, they were given free medical care, the best that they had available at the time. And for their actual wage, they were given, I believe, 3 ginormous jars of bread and 5 ginormous jars of beer. Now, I know that a lot of you are like, that sounds a lot less like being paid and just being given the same kind of thing I gave my buddy George for helping me move my couch in, but for before the wheel was invented times, that was actually really good. And yeah, by the way, that is actually an interesting little factoid. The pyramids were actually built before humankind had figured out how to make the wheel. So, pulleys hadn't been invented yet. A whole lot of stuff hadn't been invented yet. So, this actually has led to a lot of people having a problem for a good long time trying to figure out how they did it. But thanks to, again, a lot more recent things being taken a hold of, and a lot of archaeological work and stuff like that. Because when you're talking about stuff like Egyptology, it's not like they're just gonna baboom you in the face with guesses. They actually take their time to try and dig through the sand to go, okay, what can we find to prove something? So in this case, it's actually thanks to a lot of work and a lot of digs and a lot of effort, it's come to the belief of a lot of Egyptologists that the way they actually got the pyramid bricks and everything up there is that, believe it or not, there actually was, at the time, a tributary from the Nile River to in front of the Gaza Plateau, right in front of the pyramids. All the ancient Egyptians had to do was practically just sail their boats up to the docks, unload the ships, and just drag the stones up. And the way they do that, by the way, is rather interesting because the same practice is still followed by modern-day Egyptians recreating the same practices the ancient Egyptians did. Weirdly enough, a lot of water, some logs, and a bunch of dudes. Like a bunch of dudes. Again, you might have a hard time going, why in the world would a whole bunch of people do this? One, there is the religious aspect. Their idea was the pyramid wasn't just simply a tomb. It was supposed to be a resurrection machine for the pharaoh, essentially symbolizing the same great black mound, which, you know, when they're referring to black mound, they're talking about earth, fertile land, that kind of stuff. That Ra and the gods all supposedly came from. Because the ancient Egyptian creation myth is that the world was this massive ocean, this massive sea. And from this sea came the first landmass. And from this landmass came pretty much everything. The sun, the moon, the stars, you name it. From the very waters of the universe, pretty much. Surprisingly enough, it's actually not that far off from what we know to have actually happened in Earth's real history. Earth was at one time just a giant ball of water. Then volcanic eruptions started happening and we got land. Namely, Pangaea. But yeah, so as far as they were concerned, they were building a giant resurrection machine for the pharaoh's soul so you could go out and fight chaos, because their world wasn't sin and holiness. Their point was chaos and order. Everything was about everything being maintained and being held in order. The order of law, the order of spirituality, that kind of thing. Really fascinating stuff, honestly. It's actually kind of funny. My friends and I like to joke. So basically the only way to stop an Egyptian demon is just to sit down and write a list. Got it. Not planning and scheduling. No!
Good work today. We finished P1.
I will say that as someone who has actually kind of studied ancient Egyptian magic, that's not how that worked, but it makes for a nice joke. That's the first time the drivetrain doesn't actually do a good job. What did it do? It downgraded my brakes? Really? Well, let's give ourselves some nicer wheels at least. I'm gonna actually hang on, guys. Let me actually.
Grand Oak is 100% racer friendly. Each turn has some amount of banking to allow you to
I think
maximize your
this is
speed.
about what
So
time
be
we
on
got.
that
I don't want to
clock
make
early
this
and
too
often.
long. So I hope to see you in the next one, and I'll see you next time, my friends. Stay safe, everybody. Take care, and have fun out there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below.